know those. I haven't.
Okay. Show me how it looks like.
Oh, wow, cool. Look at the benches. Can you see okay?
Okay. Wow.
Alright.
Good.
Describing an opera house, gambling hall, saloon, theater, and house of negotiable affections. The Birdcage opened its doors, just a nice way to put it. Birdcage opened its doors in 1881, remained open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never closing for 9 years. We had quite the reputation. New York Times wrote an article on us about describing the Birdcage in 1882, just a year after the Birdcage had opened, and described it as the roughest, wickedest night spot between Basin Street and the Barbary Coast. Now, at the time in the 1800s, there was 106 saloons out there on Allen Street. Allen Street was 16 blocks long. They called it Whiskey Row in the red light district. This was the elite place to go. So if you had some money, you were in the Birdcage. We had 16 gun and knife fights here. 26 men and 1 woman lost their lives in the building. And we have 140 bullet holes throughout the museum. You're only standing in about 8% of the museum in this room. I'm going to show you where some of the bullet holes are. Right here on the vertical post of the bar, that hole was made by a .45 caliber, slug is still in there. Up here on the ceiling between the fan and light fixture, that smaller hole was made by a .32. And then over here on this human fly showbill frame on the left-hand side, that's the end result of a .45 ricochet shot. Then behind the door on the green plastered wall there above the Lyman Twins poster, that hole was made by a .44, slug is also still in that one. Folks, come on in, it's a lot cooler in here. This large painting of Fatima, she was a belly dancer here at the Birdcage in 1881. She went on to San Francisco in 1882 and had that painting made for the Birdcage just as a way of saying thank you for starting my career. She's been hanging on these walls ever since. Now, unfortunately, the cowboy soldiers and miners, they get liquored up in this room. They'd be standing here at the bar, getting their drinks, and they'd look in that mirror there, they thought they would see Fatima coming at them. Of course, they had a few. So they turn around and start shooting at her. She's got 6 patched bullet holes throughout the canvas. That's a knife slash just below her knee on her skirt there, and it does look like she has 2 belly buttons. One is a bullet hole. The narrow staircase on the left, that's the only way the soldiers, miners, and cowboys could actually get upstairs to see the ladies of the evening. If you get a chance, you can lean over that glass case and look up at those top 3 steps. You'll notice they're worn down about the thickness of a quarter. That just indicated to us that there was a lot of heavy traffic going up and down those stairs for 9 years. Looks like they skipped those bottom ones altogether. We have 14 Birdcage cribs, they called them, 7 on each side of the building. They'd use this little overhead suspension bridge called the catwalk back then to get between them. And then if they wanted drinks like champagne, cigars, they'd use this original dumbwaiter here by the bar. They'd put everything on that lower level, pull the rope, and of course up everything would go. The bar and bar back's all original. This was all handmade in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania out of cherry wood. And what they wanted to do was use the railroad to get here to Tombstone, but the railroad would not insure the mirrors. They're called diamond dust mirrors. They were made in Paris, France. They were very expensive, so the railroad didn't want to have anything to do with them. So he ended up putting it on a ship, had to go around the Horn of South America to a port in Guaymas, Mexico. Then they wagon trained it from Guaymas to Tombstone. It took approximately 6 months, but the bar made it in December of 1881. It's been sitting there ever since. All the lighting fixtures in the museum is original. They converted them over to electricity from carbide gas in 1934 when they made this place a museum and a historic landmark. In 1889, they shut these doors and walked out Due to the mines flooding up with water, they couldn't get the water out, so everybody was leaving town. Tombstone was fast becoming a ghost town. So we went from like 20,000 people down to 200 almost overnight. So they had to leave. They boarded the place up with every intention they were going to come back, but they never did. 45 years later, in 1934, these doors were open, and they realized that everything was still here, all the furnishings, fixtures, wallpaper, draperies, hand-painted stage curtain, everything. So they made it into a historic landmark and a museum. They put this wall in just to separate the rooms. Otherwise, if you were to walk through those doors in the 1880s, you'd actually see all the way back to the stage area. Of course, the highlights are the 14 birdcage cribs. They overhang the casino floor. We have all the original gaming tables, blackjack, dice, faro, got Holiday Del Faro here. We have the grand piano in the orchestra pit. And then behind the stage, we have pictures of the actors and actresses that performed here at the Birdcage. And then we also have Tombstone's most valuable antique, the Black Maria. Black Maria is a horse-drawn hearse that was in service here from 1881 to 1917. Took all but 6 bodies up to Boot Hill and Tombstone Cemetery. There was only 8 of these made. This is the last one in existence today. It's trimmed in 24 karat gold and sterling silver. It also has curved glass in the front windows. So, with that being said, the Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan gave it a value of over $2 million. You go down some steps, you come into where the longest running poker game, and it's famous, you can look it up on Google, longest running poker game in the West was ever played. This game lasted 8 years, 5 months, and 3 days, non-stop, 24 hours a day. They did have a waiting list, but you had to be a high roller to play in this game downstairs because it was $1,000 minimum buy-in just to sit at that table. So we had your big gamblers like Bat Masterson, Diamond Jim Brady, Luke Short, of course Wyatt and Doc played down there on that table. We also have George Randolph Hearst and Adolphus Bush of Bush Brewery come out here 4 times a year just to play in that game. So within that time period of 8 years, 5 months, and 3 days, $10 million across the top of the table. The house cut was 10%. So the house made quite a bit of money off that game. We also have a wine cellar downstairs, original wine and whiskey barrels still inside. And we have 2 bordello rooms down there. One of the rooms is where Wyatt met his future wife, Josephine. Yes, she was an actress if you saw the Tombstone movie, but she also was a working girl at the Birdcage. So they met, fell in love, they were married 47 years till his death in 1929, so it was definitely meant to be. You're actually walking on the floorboards that everyone walked on back then. They put a subfloor down, but these are original. Going through the museum is like stepping back 137 years into the past of the Birdcage. Everything is still here. So to go through the museum, it's all self-guided. You can take as much time as you'd like. And if you have cameras, you can take pictures all the way through the museum. It's $10 for adults to go through, $9 for anyone 60 and over or military. Kids 8 to 18 is $8, under 8's free. And then we have a family pack for $2, all the kids up to 18 for $28. So just come see us at the bar if you'd like to go through the Birdcage. I want to thank you for your time and welcome to Tombstone today. Thank you.
Tickets are on sale right now. Come see the reason this town still stands and the reason you're here today. It's through these doors at 2 o'clock. It is the world famous OK Corral gunfight.